Many of us at various stages in our lives have felt that life has been rather cruel to us, or the world has dealt us a bad hand, or the people we trusted the most, or the people who were closest to us have not treated us fairly. We often feel this sometimes, at various stages in our lives, right? So the thing is, I wanted to make another unfiltered vlog because I realized that it's been a while since I've opinionated on camera. Opinionated. Nice word to coin. So I thought it's something that we don't speak about often, which is dealing with disappointments in our life. This is slightly different from the kind of series, from the kind of vlog that I was making, but you will soon realize that yes, this is also connected somewhere to those vlogs. Now, like I was saying, at various points in our lives, we have felt that life has really disappointed us, that so and so has cheated us so badly, or the world at large is sort of out to get us. First of all, it's not true. The world is not out to get you, nor are people conspiring behind your back for your downfall every moment of their waking lives. They are not. Honestly, no one gives even two F's about you. Honestly. Now, what happens when we feel these feelings of disappointment, of being let down by others? What happens? We very quickly spiral into a negative space, and for many of us, it's very difficult to come out of that, especially those who feel that the world and life in general have been very unfair to them repeatedly. For them, it's very difficult to come out of that stage. I have also been in that kind of a phase many times in my life. And what is the most common reaction to that? The most common reaction is we immediately start making a list of who are those people uh, who want ill of us, who don't want what is best for us. Then we start overthinking. We start making lists of such people. We start making lists of the times that we have felt, all those times that we have felt cheated by the world. And the problem is, the more we feel these things, the more difficult it will become for us to come out of that space, of that negative space, you know. So then what do we do? What do we do? It's also not possible to like 100% avoid feeling this. Why will you avoid feeling feelings, right? And another problem is, from a very young age, no one has really taught us how to deal with feelings. Dealing with feelings is something that we've not really been taught. We've just learned, observed, and learned, or we've learned through punishment. We've learned through reward and punishment systems. We've learned through coercion. We've learned through shame. We've learned through uh, feelings of guilt. No one has really sat us down and told us how to deal with feelings, how to deal with feelings of disappointment, how to deal with feelings of anger, of sadness, of loneliness. Dealing with feelings is something that no one teaches us until you're like at a certain stage of your life when you feel that the world has come crashing down and you go looking for a therapist. Most people are doing that. Most people. It's very humid. Yeah, so most people are doing that. But why do you want to wait till you reach that exploding stage and then look for a therapist and then sort of put your home back in order? Why wait for that stage to come? Why not be prepared? Why not know what to do, or sort of have the tools with yourself to deal with feelings on your own like a mature person? I found a very interesting way of dealing with feelings of disappointment. Okay. Um, so when we are in this space of uh, being overwhelmed by feelings of disappointment, very quickly we spiral into a cycle of self pity, of self loathing. We quickly group all those times we have felt let down by so and so person or let down by some situation. And once we start grouping all of those instances from our lives, what happens is we ourselves unknowingly create a state of victimhood for us. Now, some people find comfort in a state of victimhood. Some people do, really. And for some people, probably that is the only way to cope with feelings of disappointment. But it needn't be that way. I feel that's a very unhealthy way of coping. And why cope when you can handle them sensibly, cleverly, right? So I was just pondering on this, and suddenly something struck me. When we are in a state of victimhood, the predominant thought that is on our minds is that we are very innocent and that we have been played on by the society or cheated on by so and so, or unfairly treated by so and so, or by the society, or by your colleagues, or by your workplace, or by your parents, or by this, that, he, she, they, them, whatever. So what happens is we stay in that in that space of victimhood, and the psychology of victimhood is such that you start painting yourself in a very morally upright image, like you are this saintly person, and whoever wronged you are wrong. Like no one should wrong you, or you should never be wronged. You are the most upright person. So automatically, while we are in the state of victimhood, we assume this moral high ground that, oh, we are so good, we are saintly, and look, we are, a person like me is being played on, a person like me is, I'm being taken advantage of. How can it be? Look, I'm so good. And then you keep brooding on that and sulking and sulking, and what happens is when you do this too much, it seeps out and it corrodes everything around you. It affects other people's moods. It basically makes your surrounding environment very murky, very negative. So in such scenarios, you should try this. See, nobody is 100% good, morally upright person. Okay, first we have to know this truth about people, this truth about us. Okay, we are not, in Bengali, we have this saying called dhoa tulsi pata, which means sanitized basil leaves. Okay, because basil leaves or tulsi is something holy. So no one is a holy person as such. We all have various aspects to ourselves. Similarly, the person who you are assuming has done you wrong is also not 100% devil, or 100%, I don't know, a thug or a mafia or whatever you think that person to be. And nor are you. I mean, even you are not 100% saintly person. You also have different flaws. You have your dark sides. We all have our dark sides. And some some of us have very dark sides. Some of us have humorous, funny dark sides, but we all have dark sides because, see, we are a three-dimensional being. We are not a unidimensional. We are not 2D. No, like paper. We don't have a front side and a back side. We have many sides to us. So I think in such situations, sometimes it's good to introspect your bad qualities. So whenever you feel that you have been victimized, or you feel like the victim and that the entire world is like out to get you, think about the bad qualities that you have. We all do. Um, Many of us do not respect authority. Many of us, I don't know, feel like bitching about others. Many of us know that some of us lie under certain circumstances. All of us lie. I mean, we all do. Nobody can claim to have been speaking the truth throughout their life. Nobody. Everyone lies. Many of us cheat in various ways, either on our partners or whatever. I think whenever you find yourself in this situation where you're constantly thinking, who are those people who have tried to hurt you, tried to put you down, and then you yourself move into this negative space, think about the bad qualities that you have in you. I'm sure you do have a lot of bad qualities. Maybe you have fibbed your way along, your work life. Maybe you've fudged your resume. Maybe you have fudged your pay slip or something to get a significant raise. Maybe at some point in your life you have betrayed your partner. Maybe at some point of time you had wished that so and so person didn't live, or you don't like so and so person and you sort of have wished them ill. We all have done this. Let's not pretend to be saints over here, okay? So think about these aspects about yourself. Once you start thinking about these aspects about yourself, trust me, that feeling of doom, that feeling of victimhood, that feeling of, oh my God, the world is out to get me, why does this only happen with me, it will go. It will just disappear. The moment you start thinking about your negative qualities, about your bad, I don't want to say bad, but your dark side, your dark nature. Maybe some there have been instances when your mom has given you some nice lunch in school or college or at work, and you did not feel like eating it, and you felt like having biryani that day, or you felt like having something from the canteen that day. So you lied to your mom saying that, Mom, I've had my lunch, but actually on the way back from school or college or from work, you have thrown your lunch in the trash, just so that you could prove that you've eaten your lunch. I'm sure you've done this. Or it could be something like you have scored very well in some exam and everyone's kind of like congratulating you, but you know that that particular answer was not known to you, and you peeked into your friend's answer sheet and you copied the answer from them. Only you know this. It's not what so-called morally upright people do they? So I'm not saying that these are like bad qualities, very dark. No, it doesn't have to be so extreme. Like you wishing death upon someone. We've sometimes done that too. I mean, come on, let's be real. It's not good to do that often, but I mean, I understand. We've done that. So whenever you feel yourself in this victim kind of a situation and you're feeling really low, really dark, really negative, think about the negative qualities that you have, and you will realize that no one's too bad or no one's too good. We are just people, and people exist. And we have to make the most of this little life that we have. So there's no point wallowing in sorrow and, self pity and self loathing. So I hope this will help you going forward. Anytime you find yourself in this sad situation, do let me know how, whether it has helped you or not, and also do let me know what is your strategy to handle such situations. And I only hope and wish that as humans we are able to live a well-rounded life, a well-balanced, well-rounded, enjoyable life, so that when we die we can say, oh, I'm so happy to have lived such a great life. I have no problem passing away from this world. So I guess that should be the objective of this little life. And the meaning, of course, is to help others, to show others the way, to be that voice for others that you wish you had, to be that guiding light for others that you wish was there in your life. So, what do you think? Let me know if this worked, and till then, keep staying radical.